Hello, hello, fellow youths. How are you doing? My name is Jackson Joe, and I come to you here alive on our studios. Today we are going to be talking about something very profound. But before we go into that, I want to welcome you back from our previous video that we aired live last time. It was actually on Sunday, where we had the topic about depression, and we went about and shared about more about it and how depression is about. So today, in our studios here, we want to introduce to you our guest on our panel. So today, let me introduce to you the first panelist is actually none other than.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jackson. It's always a pleasure being on the show. I'm really honored. Jackson, thank you so much for inviting me. Hello, youth.
Yes.
Those who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Kabwa Edmond. I'm an evangelist, and I also work with the youth in my community and those far aside. So I like engaging so much with young people. Just as we are going to have an engagement right now, we are going to discuss something very interesting. Make sure you have a pen and paper and take notes, because this is more than a show. We have come to learn. Thank you very much.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes.
You're welcome. On my left, on the left where Eddie is sitting, we have a lady, and we want to also hear from her. What is your name?
Hi everyone, I'm Gloria and I'm here representing the ladies. Thank you for hosting me.
You're welcome. Well, guest in the house, you are most welcome once again. My name is Joe Jackson, and today we are going to be talking about a topic which is so profound. And I hope you're all waiting, you're all anticipating of this topic that we're going to be talking about here on our show, The Youth Chat. Welcome to The Youth Chat.
Thank you.
Good. So today's topic, we want to talk about drug abuse, or you can call it substance abuse. Well, I will get back to my guest in the house today, and that is none other than Eddie. Eddie, last time we first had you here on our first show, on our first edition, where we talked about depression. Could you maybe give me a hint of what happened last time? Because I believe youth out there would love to see actually, or would love to hear a recap on depression.
Thank you very much, Jackson. So last time we dug deep into a very interesting topic, and that is depression. In that we looked at what depression is, we defined what depression is, and we looked at the causes. How does depression come about? Then we went past that and we looked at the signs and symptoms, those things that you should pick when you, like those signs, when you see your friend is cutting himself or herself away from the public, when you see their outbursts.
Yes.
Those are some of the signs and symptoms that we looked at. And also the other thing is we try to look at how do you prevent, how do you avoid, how do you fight against depression if you are a victim of depression. Then we looked at surround yourself with positive people, these people who will support you when you're going through these tough moments. Surround yourself with positivity, because negative people reminding you of your failures, your past, all these things bring about depression. Then again, we encourage our brothers and sisters out there who are going through depression, and we told them, you know what, guys, it's not the end of you. You can still fight it. You have the guts, you have God on your side.
Well, thank you so much, Eddie. You've heard from Eddie actually giving us what happened in our first edition, where we talked about the depression here in our studios, here at the Youth Chat. So today, our topic, we want to talk about, we are going to be talking about drug abuse and substance, or you can call it substance abuse, okay? So my panelists in the house, today we are, like I've said earlier, that we are talking about drug abuse. So what comes to your mind when someone tell you about drug abuse? What stand out for you? What do you think about it?
Yes, thank you very much, moderator Jackson. So maybe if I'm to give you a brief background for those who may be knowing me for the first time, I am a fellow youth like you. Yes, and I thank God so much for the experience that I've had in the field. I have had practical connections. I have been with people who have been addicted. I have gone to hospitals and been with people who are suffering, who have gone for rehab.
Yes,
So so I am coming from a practical end. So when you talk of drug abuse, what comes into your mind? First of all, you have to break down what are you talking about. And there is someone out there, I'm just saying there's someone who might have heard of drug abuse for the first time.
Yes,
So
yes.
let us first break down before I define drug abuse. Just simple terms for those who are educated and those who have gone to school. When you talk of drug abuse, me, I understand. Me, I look at substance. Actually, drug abuse, like when someone talks of drug abuse, people tend to think that this is maybe illegal or legal, but drug abuse is both. It can either be legal or illegal.
Or illegal. Yes,
Are you getting me?
Yes, yes.
I really hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
So when you talk of drug abuse, first of all, you have to understand what is a drug, and you need to know what is abuse.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
me, I look at a drug as a substance, something that you put in your body, and there's how it deals with you, there's how it changes how you think, how you look at your normal everyday condition. And then abuse. Abuse is the misuse of this drug that you're putting in your
Yes,
body,
yes,
because it
yes.
affects you it affects your body. There's how your body reacts
Yes,
to it.
yes, yes.
So now that brings me to drug abuse. I believe drug abuse is a pattern that we take over consuming this drug. Are you getting me? A
Yes,
pattern
yes.
that we use and
Very true.
that maybe you use it on a daily basis. A drug may not be bad in its sense, but your use of it may make it an abuse. You can, yes, you get. So there are drugs like cocaine. It's an illegal drug, and when you use it in your body, there's how it affects your brain. Drug abuse, on top of drug abuse, me, I look at it as the abuse of substance. Everything, these drugs are legal. Maybe it may be, for example, you're a youth, you may be out there, and maybe they are talking of a painkiller. Panadol kills pain. You get. Nowadays, there's a drug that, for example, there was some time back, way back, I felt sick. And then there was this drug that whenever I took it, the pain could disappear. It was Panadol, I think Panadol Extra or something. So it reached a point where whenever I felt that pain, I could consume this drug and the pain would go. So I relied so much on this drug
Yes,
to a
yes.
point I started abusing the drug. You get it. I started using it. It was prescribed, but I reached a point and I was using it in the wrong way. Get me? So I believe that is drug abuse in simple terms. Thank you very much, moderator.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so amazing. You have heard from him. You've heard from Eddie talking about drug abuse.
Yes.
So today we carry on with several questions that actually I'm going to be asking my panelists. Thank you so much, Eddie,
Yes.
for giving us more light on what is drug abuse. So we are going to go into our next question, which is what is the cause of drug abuse? So my panelist, Eddie, the man himself, would you tell us what is the cause of drug abuse?
Well, thank you very much, Jackson. Youth, if you're outside there, let me first clarify and make this clear. There is no cause of drug abuse. I believe it may be shocking as you're hearing it coming from me. It has not yet been concluded that this is a specific cause of drug abuse. But maybe there are some factors that surround drug abuse, and this is what we are going to look at as causes of drug abuse.
Okay.
First cause of drug abuse,
Yes.
I can say it's depression.
Yeah.
Just as to those who watched us last time, when you're depressed, there's way how this drug, there's way how that cocaine, there's way how that alcohol makes your system to be like it gives you a false reality. There's way how it just excites you in a bit to take you off reality of your problem. That is why people start taking alcohol. Actually, these drunkards who are in bars, when you sit down with them, these guys are not drinking because they want, but it's because of the stress from work and stress from maybe their homes. You find a man is taking and goes home late. Anyway, a depression, that is one of the causes that I can look at. And also the other thing is, I can say it's peer pressure. Very common among us, the youth.
very common,
Very
yes,
common among the youth. Your friends are having it. Your friends are having that sip. Your friends are puffing that, they are puffing that weed. So you're like, I don't know, let me also go and give it a try. Let me also go and, let me try it. I want to feel what Jackson feels when he does that. When he takes it, I want to feel what Gloria feels when she's taking that beer. You get? So I believe, yes, so peer pressure, you're pulled by your friends to take this drug. Maybe thirdly, before Gloria comes in, I can also say it's curiosity. I can hear of maybe weed.
Wait.
Someone
What
talks
is
of weed and you're like, when you see them, you see that confidence they get when your friend takes weed.
Right.
Mainly, I'm going to be frank with you, youth. I'm not going to hide anything. I don't know if I'm speaking to myself or maybe you're also out there and you've experienced this. I've had friends who can't talk to girls unless they are high.
Oh,
You get someone purposely has to first
wait,
take.
wait,
That one
a
is
moment.
noted.
Wait a moment.
Yes.
Can you repeat for me that statement? Because you talked of, I had a friend who, if you want to talk to someone or you want to talk to a girl, he
Yes.
would want to first, take marijuana and then you go and stand before the girl.
Okay.
What is the story behind that?
All right. Now,
Yes.
this friend of mine, he had really issues, and it reached to a point whereby if he likes a girl, high school dating and such a life,
Do you hear that?
he goes to the girl, like this was practical. He goes and he says hello. And the next thing, the eyes are becoming squeezed, and tears start coming out of the eyes, and then that was the end of him. But then you see that if this guy is high, if he takes some small bit of alcohol, if he takes some, if he smokes that joint or that weed,
The shame
there's
goes
way how
away.
he just gets that is why I call it false confidence. So and I believe you can also talk about you also know that friend of yours, and actually also maybe in schools we used to have friends who Cuba. I think you've heard of
Yes,
Cuba.
I've ever
These are
heard
some
about
of I'm trying to break out some of the examples of drugs. They had Cuba, and you find when a person first has to, I know those who may not know Cuba. Cuba is like tea leaves, and the way you use it is like you put it
You-
below
you
the
just hold
tongue,
it, yes.
and then you just hold it there, and there's way how it charges you. It's like it boosts your system. So now this person, in order to stay up for a longer time, to read harder, this is the same person. After putting that Cuba below the tongue, this person can go for extra hours, and there is nothing like sleep. You get, so now it reaches a point that the body becomes
So what you mean when I take this Cuba, I will it just kills off my sleep.
Jackson, Eddie, I'm
I
sorry to
stay
cut
there
you
all
off.
day.
Well, on your point, I also had a friend in school, my classmates, not only one, and they used to take that drug. There's a certain drug they used to take, and they used to take it in the morning from the toilet. They sit in a class, and they teach us from morning up to evening. Yeah?
Whoa.
Then that moment he will never forget. He used to tell us that I cannot forget what they taught, and he can explain to you everything, even the jokes that the teacher was saying.
Can I say that drug is a brain booster, something? Because
Maybe, but
it brings us to knowing it as a brain booster. Because if your friend would take it,
no,
and then,
it makes you high, and your brain can be sharp. You can be remembering everything. Like, it wasn't good. One guy, he ended up losing the memory. Ended up in a rehab.
Anyway, I think maybe now, when now you're talking about these things that affect the brain, as you've said, your friend ended up losing, had memory loss. Now, this thing, there's a way how it uses the brain abnormally to a point whereby the brain is exhausted, and then you reach a point and you just break down.
Yeah, because they
That is-
overused
yes,
it.
Yes,
They
because you
overuse it.
overuse it, and then you reach a point that you can't live without it, and it has effects. By the way, we are not saying that go back to school and start using this thing to charge your brain.
Can we say
It's not good at all.
Can we say that that is an addiction?
We are coming
Yeah.
there, I believe.
Okay.
I believe we are coming there. But
These causes we are naming, they lead us to the addiction, and they can make you to be an addict of that drug. Yeah.
anyway, if you're there and you're taking notes, I believe that we were trying to look at peer pressure and you know how all we are basically looking at the causes of drug abuse.
Yes.
And also maybe I can end with family heritage. You'll come to realize that in a family, children pick up the habit from their parents.
Yeah, the
You get.
the grandfather used to take it, and
So
I
you also find this
yourself taking it.
you get it's following it, like it's following the family, it's following its members. So that is also like, I believe that is also a cause of drug abuse, drug substance use. You find that your dad, because your dad used it, he passed on that gene
But-
to you, the child, and you find that you also feel like, you know what, I just can't control it. This is the
Eddie,
way we
sorry
go.
to cut you, eh?
Yes, please.
Sometimes it is caused on the way the parents treat their kids, in the way that this thing of like, Gloria, go and get for me this. You go and buy that alcohol. I know the price. And I also like, let me test Coke. Eh? You put the bottle there. I also take Coke, a little bit of it, to see how I bring every day. Why can't I also test?
I think maybe that talks of poor role models.
Poor role models.
Poor
So
role
the
models.
parents are poor role models.
They are
to their
basically
children
some
out there.
parents, not all. Some parents are
Some
poor
of
role
them.
models because when you send me to get this, when you send me to buy that alcohol and bring it back home, and you're taking it, you're sending me to bring that cigarette and you're using it. Then again, you're telling me that it is bad. You get there's no how you just don't make sense. If it's bad, why are you using it? Now all this brings all about more curiosity.
And
And
then
I-
that kind of a parent cannot advise the kids to stop using them.
because now the child is looking at the dad.
How
I
can
want to
you
be
tell
like
me
my
stop
dad.
taking alcohol, stop taking cigarette when you're already using it? You are the same person who tells me to go buy it.
Actually,
You can't even try
yes,
to.
thank you. Actually, about that, I had a practical experience with one of my people that I dealt with. Though I won't mention the name because of privacy and that stuff. But
It's okay.
this boy practically told me that me and my dad could go and drink. And it was for rehab. Actually, I got him at the rehab center. It was like me and my dad, we sit there and we all
And the
drink.
dad
So the
pays.
dad and the child, they used to go and join together. And
Yeah, and they take and they use these things.
They
and
use the
you
company.
get so now you find that
They
the
give
dad
each
is
other.
breeding, he's trying to pass on that line to the son, and also this child will
For
pick
them,
it
they
up from
think
there.
that they are collecting companies
You
for
get
each other.
and
but
also go and also many friends of mine. I don't know, like I don't know which world I live in. Maybe mine only, but I've had practical relationship with people who are. You find it's their parents who are introducing them to these things.
Of course,
Yes.
the big number is
Yes,
that,
so-
and also the friends.
Okay, so that means also that the parent comes in as another peer.
Thank you
I
very
would
much.
say that. I would
A
say that.
biggest
Not
peer.
all of them, but
Yes.
a few parents come in as peer.
Yes.
I will also give you an example of a neighbor who is near me. This is a woman that goes out and then she goes and buy alcohol and then she comes back and drink it in the house. And then from after finishing drinking it, she goes about and she starts caning this young girl, and she starts caning her, asking her where she had kept other alcohol, but yet she came with one bottle, so she's seeking for
That's-
another bottle.
You have reminded me this the verse in the Bible. Train a child in the way they should
They
go.
should be.
So if parents, you are teaching me that's the way I will follow, that's the way I'll grow up, knowing that alcohol, drugs are very good, are very beneficial to my life. You understand?
That is
Yes,
the
yeah,
way,
that-
like that is the
Yeah,
way.
that's
it
the way
is
you
in
are
our
teaching me.
family.
So it
That's
becomes
a-
a lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
If I take it, I feel high.
Not only high,
You see?
you feel good.
Eh.
Yeah, there's that thing of feel like the artist. Yeah, the artist. Do you know that artist? The big number. I read on Google that the big number they take drugs to feel to boost their energy and so that they be active very active on the
Actually now,
stage.
when now you bring in artists and these people in the spotlight, that is a whole different world.
Yeah.
First of all, look at the crowd these people are. I call it ministering because that is also a platform of its own. They're ministering. You get. So now you find when someone has no boldness to stand before a crowd of 1,000, they can't go on their own and they can't express themselves. So what do? Someone tells them, you know what, I also suffered from that, but this is the way I went. I first went and took some joints, smoked some weed, and afterwards I was supercharged and I was okay to go. Therefore, you see me exciting and jumping. So it's basically they are trying to get that false self-confidence. So I just sum it around that.
Wow, wow, that's really amazing. To the youth who are watching us live here in our studios, you've heard it by yourself. The causes, Adi here and Gloria, they went about to explain more and also tell us what are these causes. And to just tell you, the first that I've picked from Eddie's statement is that depression is actually one of the cause of, of drug abuse. And then he went ahead and also explained more of the peer pressure. And then also Gloria still went on and explained more still about the peer pressure. So you've had it by yourself. If you have peer pressure, you cocoon yourself within a group that actually deals with drug abuse. You find yourself actually also getting into the joint. Some people call it Malwa joint and so on. Some people call it Malwa joint. So you get yourself into the joint where you become, you start hanging around with these guys here. But you've heard it from AD, so please, we are here to advise you, and we want to tell you that keep away from peer groups. And also, you've heard it that depression is one of the goal of, it is one of the cause toward drug abuse. So I quickly want to go to our next question, and this is a profound question that I would want you fellow youth out there to actually hear, and maybe you can write it down. So our next question is, what is drug addiction? Because we've been talking about drug abuse. Now we go to our next question, which is number 3, about drug addiction. Eddie.
Thank you very much, Jackson. So the youth outside there, the purpose of this show is to pick out something, to learn something. And what we come here to do is to bring about revelation, to a new understanding. The devil's greatest weapon is ignorance.
Yeah.
That is why, actually, that's why Isaiah 4:6 says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. They don't know, therefore they are perishing. So what we do here is to bring about knowledge. So when you talk of drug addiction, I hope we have come from far, and those who have been following, at least now you know what drug abuse is and its causes. Now, when you talk of drug addiction, there are so many addictions out there. There are so many things. Anyway, let me not first. I want to make this as practical as it may sound. Not to use any scientific sounds or words. I want to make this as basic, simple. So when you talk of addiction, when you talk of drug addiction, actually this is just one of the addictions that are outside there in the world. But today we are focusing mainly on drug addiction. So what comes into my mind? This is something that has taken a stronghold, on my life, to a point whereby I can't live without it. I need it to function. I need it to walk my daily activities. For example, you might have had teachers in your school, in that a teacher cannot stand before you and teach unless they have taken that substance, unless they have taken that bottle of alcohol, unless they have smoked that cigarette. Okay. I've heard of engineers who can't operate what they're supposed to do unless they have taken something into their system. So when you talk of drug addiction, I look at something that affects your brain. It comes after your mind, in that it wants to make you a slave. You become a slave to it, that if it's not there, you can't live without it. That is why rehabs are there. They detoxify you, they get that thing out of your system. So drug addiction is all about you become a slave. Drugs become your master. You serve you serve the substance.
Wait a moment.
You walk.
Wait a moment, because I believe that a youth out there want to first understand that statement. So you say that if I drink alcohol, it owns my life. It becomes the god of my life. Is it that?
Thank you very much about that.
I don't mean the God, our God.
That
mean
small G God.
The
small G God. Yes. Now, if you look at it critically, addictions don't come overnight. This is something that you're introduced to first, the first day. Then the second day you try some and it feels nice. The third day you try again some. You're like you're continuing. You're using it and you're feeling that momentary relief just for that short period of time. To a point whereby if you don't smoke that cigarette, if you don't smoke that weed, if you do not take that bottle of alcohol, you can't function. So basically that helps us understand what addiction is. You become a slave. You're my slave. That means where I go, you go.
So that brings me to my example. Sorry. We had a girl who used to take cigarette. In a day, she cannot take 5 of them. She cannot. In a day, she has to take 10 or 12.
Oh my.
When a day passes, when she has taken like 5,
Oh my.
the body start itching.
Itching.
Yeah,
Basically itching.
itching.
So
The whole
is
body.
it because of the strong chemical they use maybe to
No,
manufacture
you-
this as cigarette?
Your mindset
Ah.
and your whole body is connected to that.
Like basically like the response your body gives to
Oh
this
my.
drug.
That you are missing something, you have to give me this. You haven't given me in a full dose. You have to do it.
Oh.
Actually, maybe some example that I can give. There is a musician out there, though I won't mention the name.
It's okay.
Now, this guy, at first, how he was introduced to these drugs, the guy went with his friends. They told him that, he saw his friends doing these drugs and like, man, these things, I believe it works for us. So then he was, let me also give it a try. That was the first time.
Yeah.
So this guy tries this drug for the first time, and then it's fine. He does it again. Actually, now this guy it was so unfortunate that he just used it twice.
Oh,
He
God.
just used it 2 times. Now the third day, he wakes up in the morning and he has a very bad stomach ache. It was so bad that he had to call his friends of his and he's like, guys, I'm down. I feel too much stomach ache. I don't know what to do. I've tried drugs, this normal drug, this painkiller drug, this Panadol that you may want to, this fragile that may help treat the stomach ache.
Yeah.
And these guys are like,
They're
no,
nice.
these guys who introduce him to the drug, like, no, you know what? I know what can help you.
Oh, God.
So they take him back and they give him that same drug that he was using. So after him taking it,
The third
he's
time.
fine.
Oh,
He's fine. He's like, man. So the guy says he went back and he felt so bad. He's like, so without this, I cannot function normally.
Oh.
He was addicted.
Oh.
It had
Yeah.
taken up now something on his life.
yeah.
You get? So
Oh.
that is all about addiction. In that, what we have come to do here is to set you free, to help you know that, okay, this thing that you're seeing your friends doing, this drug that you're seeing your friend taking, this alcohol that your dad may be taking at home, you don't have to follow in their footsteps. You don't have to
That's
follow
true,
in.
that's true.
You don't have to follow in your you don't have to be basic as your friends.
Yeah,
You get?
yeah,
You
yeah.
can stand out.
Yes.
You can be that good example. Now the addiction is what makes the drug very bad. In that you become one.
Oh yes.
You get just as blood in your system. These drugs become blood in your system.
Oh.
It becomes the oxygen you breathe in.
Imagine.
Without it, you can't live.
That is
You
really
get?
bad.
Now that
yeah.
is the biggest danger of drug addiction. So I wanted to point that out.
Wow.
Thank you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Yes, you've heard from Eddie. Eddie, thank you so much for giving us more light again here on our third question. So we are still moving on, and we are coming to you live here on our studio, like I told you. And we hope and we are praying that this explanation about the drug abuse will actually help, prevent what you've been going through, or help advise you more on how to abstain from this. Okay. So Eddie, what are some of the signs and symptoms of addiction?
Well, thank you very much, Jackson. All right, so here I'm going to try to break down how do you know that you are addicted? How do you know that my friend is addicted? You get? The first point I will start with is it's slurred speech. Let me try breaking it down. When you are trying to discuss with your friend, maybe it's maybe you're at school, maybe you're at home, and then you're trying to have maybe just a normal conversation, and so your friend's words are breaking down, they are not so clear. Then you will come to understand those are some of the points that you can pick up and you know what, this person something is missing. You get? These are the signs you can watch out for. It may be you yourself. I have been near people and you're talking to some, but they are not clear. They are trying to express themselves, but they're like, you get. So now those are some of the signs you can watch out for to know that someone is addicted on drugs. And also the other signs that you can watch out for is shaking, body shaking.
Yeah, but
You get? It is not cold, actually it's hot.
Me thought someone someone shake, his body get so shaking because of maybe coldness. I don't know.
No,
Can you just
practically,
explain to us?
this one, it doesn't matter about the weather. We're not looking at the weather, whether it's cold or hot. This person is basically, even in hot, let us look at hot weather, but the person is shaking. Their mouth is just moving
Bubbling.
like
So
the
bubbling.
drugs are so much bubbling. bubbling
It's
mouth.
only
Like
bubbling.
the drug is so much in their body, like it's causing all these side effects. You get, so those are also signs. Those are also some of the signs you can watch out for to know that I think Brother
might be going
Jackson
through this
needs
addiction.
help. I think Sister Gloria needs help. I think she's going through something that we do not know about. So those are some of the signs you can watch out for. And
Body
itching,
itching.
body itching. Yes, Gloria, maybe you can elaborate more on that.
Body itching, it was also a symptom. You can even see it from people like talking to, like my friend, the previous story I told you about, was who took like 5 and the body started itching.
Itching, yes.
Yeah, there's also that, and also red lips. Yeah, red lips. It shows that you take a lot of alcohol. People who take a lot of alcohol and cigarettes,
Smoking.
smoking cigarettes, and other blah blah blah.
And also maybe now actually when you talk of cigarettes, cigarettes is hot.
Yes.
So like there are these people who have it at their lips for. Remember when you are addicted, you're not using it once. It's every day and not. Now for
burns
example,
your
now for
lips, eh?
example, cigarettes. You're not taking one. You're taking like a packet.
packet.
There are those who
Packet,
take a
yeah.
packet. There are those who take 10.
Yeah.
And now you every day. Remember, this is an everyday thing.
You want
It's
to
like
take
a
it
dr-
every day.
you
Every
get
day,
it's
every
like medication to your system to function.
And it
Also,
ends
maybe
up-
what I can add on to about that, one of the signs and symptoms you can notice is look at your friends. If you think that they are on drugs, also maybe you can look at their body weight, how their body weight is. You see, a person taking drugs. Let me give you a clear example. Those who know of a musician called Radio. You saw his body, you
Yeah.
saw his
Yeah,
body
yeah.
size.
Yeah.
You get, it could typically show that this guy is using something.
Something.
Also maybe Bob Marley. Bob Marley guy
yeah.
also used a lot of drugs, and you saw how his body was. So maybe body weight is also something you can watch out for to know that at least I think my friend needs help. She may be, this thing might have made her a slave or him a slave. Yes, thank you very much, Jackson.
Wow. Yes, fellow youths, you've heard it from Gloria and AD about the signs and symptoms of addiction. Now, our next question, we are going to talk about what are the outcomes of drug addiction. So I will get back to Eddie, being our guest here in our studios. But yeah, so Eddie, we are going to talk about, so our next question is question number 4, youths out there. So we are going on question number 4, and that is, what are the outcomes of addiction?
Okay, thank you very much, Jackson. To you who's out there watching, now we are going to try to break down what are the repercussions of these drugs that you're using. All right, the first one is depression. You get it?
Depression.
So, like just as we talked about it last time, when you use this thing for quite some point of time, now that day when it is not there, that moment when you do not have it, you'll find like you're depressed. You feel you can't
You don't
function.
feel yourself.
Remember last time when we talked about depression, we said this is something that stops you from doing your daily activities. You can't do your normal work. So drugs, so there's also, depression is one of the effects of substance abuse. Also maybe the other one that I can talk about is now you who are at school, you can drop out of school, you can get expelled, and your parents may not like it, and that may be the end of it.
Oh, yes.
So it is that serious. They can expel you maybe because we know schools don't allow
Yeah, they
these
don't-
drugs.
they
They
don't-
don't they don't entertain.
They don't tolerate with
I
it.
had some time back. There was a school I was studying in. I won't mention the name also for confidential
It's okay.
purposes. My friend was caught with. I don't know why I've been so much in contact with these people who are who have done drugs.
addicts,
So
yeah.
my friend was caught with Cuba. It was it was a lot of Cuba. Now maybe to those who know me, to those who may watch and they know me, you may relate. So our school, boarding and day section are separate. So this friend of mine had his brother in the boarding section, and for him it was a day scholar. So he decides to take for the brother some of these things. So he takes it, and then because we at our school, I know you may be there and you're like trying to imagine. So at our school, we don't go with our bags to the campus, to the boarding camp. We leave them at the gate. So I think maybe the askari got suspicious. I don't know. So check the bag and call the HM. So it reached a point and my friend was expelled from school. You get, so those are some of the consequences. And also maybe the other one is guilt. You personal, this one nobody will come and
feeling
start.
guilty.
You'll start feeling guilty. You
That
know
you're
when
doing something wrong.
no, let me like talk about this. I talk of I don't like people who take drugs. I don't know if someone may just be talking and then you know it inside you and you're like, I don't know, are they talking about me? You get, so those are also some of the
become guilty.
consequences of this drug abuse. Yes, thank you very much.
Wow, you've heard it again
Yes.
from the man himself, AD. Well, Gloria, do you have something to say?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to add on something.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jackson. Thank you very much. What I can say, also, drug abuse can lead you, or being an addict can lead you to loss of lives. Eh? You can even end up committing a suicide.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah. And it is very common. It's very common in youth. They do it a lot. They end up committing suicide because they see that their life is meaningless.
They feel it is beyond their
Meaningless, eh?
control.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Also,
And-
maybe just to add up from that, loss of lives. And think maybe as she has clarified on it, maybe I can talk of loss of job. You can lose your job. Your boss finds you smelling alcohol. You get.
And they
And then they expel you out of the
You
job.
get. So what do you expect your boss to think? They may be like, I think this person does not. This is a very practical thing. My uncle lost his job. There were problems in the family. So these are all effects of drug abuse. There was the wife left him with the kids. He lost his job. When you look at him right now, you may think he's mentally ill, which he is, and he really needs help. But he may not know that he needs the help. So losing your job can also be one of the effects of this really great thing that is affecting so many lives of the youth. And youth out there, if you're following, please take note of these points that we are trying to break down.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that, okay, you're taking this drug, but what are the repercussions of this substance abuse? Yes, thank you very much, Jackson.
Good. Well, you've heard it again from AD, actually giving us, trying to tell us more of the outcomes of drug abuse or drug addiction. Now, we're going to our next question, which is solution and prevention of drug addiction. So, please, I will come back still to our guest here, Eddie. Eddie, what are the solution and prevention? How can we prevent, or how can we avoid ourselves from drug abuse?
So the youth out there, look up to good role models. Look at people who inspire you to be a greater person.
Yes,
That friend of yours whom you see that they first have to take the drugs to feel hyped, to feel good. We have discussed some of the outcomes, some of the consequences that come out of this substance abuse. So look up to people who inspire you to be a greater person. You know, even the Bible encourages it, that do not, like it says, I think it's somewhere in Galatians, where it says that bad company corrupts good character. You get? So therefore, that means good company perfects already good character. So look at those people who will make you out to be a greater person. Now, maybe to you who's suffering from the addiction, seek help. There's a lot of, there is medical help outside there. There is rehab. There are people who can really help you out to like to overcome this thing that is tormenting your life. And maybe later on we shall share a contact that will help you to like to combat this thing that is affecting your life. Yes, thank you very much. Back to you, Jackson.
Well, thank you so much, Eddie. You've heard it again from him. Now, I quickly want to, shift my microphone to Gloria. Gloria, do you have something you want maybe to add on about solution and prevention of drug abuse?
what I can say, is, I read, there is a quote I read on Google, and it was saying it's hard to stop it because it is an addict. Eh? When you're addicted to something, it's like it's part of your life, and it's really hard to pull it off, like removing that cloth. It's like your skin, pulling your skin off. Yeah. So it's really hard, and it takes a lot of time. Don't you think that these people are going just in a blue, in the blank of an eye, boom, they are going to be done with it? that they are going to stop it. So what I can tell you is, Eddie will tell us more about the rehabs, yeah, and also take time. Let the family be there for you, and you also focus to whatever they tell you, yeah, because this thing takes step by step, step by step, not one step. You are done, you are good to go. Remember, just know that if you go there 1 week in a rehab, 1 week, just know. You will say, you start bragging, you know, I've spent 1 week without taking alcohol, without taking cigarette. In a month, you will take even more than 12 you have been taking. That's it.
So don't give up, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you tell us more about the rehabs.
Okay, rehabs, there are so many things that they do at the rehab. They detoxify your system. They try to give you a new environment. Okay, they try to give you a new environment of itself. In that, in this environment, you won't find the drugs. They will help your body. They will detoxify you. There are things that they will give you to try to remove that substance out of you, to show that, okay, this thing has taken a hold on your life, but still. And by the way, maybe how I can encourage you is, do not give up hope. You get? However much you're fighting it, believe that, because sometimes we lose hope and we're like, I've tried. By the way, do you know, it's all it even goes beyond. There are those who try today. They try for a week and then they stop it. Then again, they become a victim. And when it comes back, it is worse than before.
Just doubles.
It is worse than before. So as you're fighting it, as you're seeking for help, as you're talking to, as you're going to a therapist, to someone to help you, have hope that you know what, you can fight it because God is on your side. God is on your side. Thank you very much, Jackson.
You've heard it from our very own people here, our panelists here at our studios, the Youth Chat. So today, the take home for you is that please just be conscious about drug abuse, and also learn how to abstain away from drug abuse, because you know, drug abuse will lead to a lot. It comes with a lot of outcomes, just as you heard it from Eddie telling us more about it here. So boys and girls out there, our fellow youths, please, I want you to know that we come here every Sunday to just, you know, talk of profound topics that will actually help you. So today we had drug abuse, and last Sunday we had addiction. So even other Sundays we shall be coming here alive as the voice of talent through the Youth Chat to just help you, overcome some things that you're going in as a youth in life. So I stay Jackson Joe, and if you want to follow us, please, you can go on our website and write Voice of Talent. There you'll find our conversation going on, and still you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. We are on up there, bringing to you live the Youth Chat to just help us, you know, to advise you on a certain thing that you can abstain from. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please observe the terms and conditions behind drug abuse, because we do not want by the end of the day you become an addict toward drug. So God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.